Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with an unhappy Robert Helenius, who is willing to take legal action to try secure the WBA mandatory shot. So there's a little bit going on here, and I would sort of set the table first with saying Robert Helenius in the past couple of years has fought Adam Kownacki back-to-back years. Both times there was the WBA eliminator on the line. Not announced as final eliminators, although the commentators after both fights declared him the mandatory. But you also have that situation set against the backdrop of him being first named the gold champion after he beat Kownacki the first time, but then that gold champion status going away, and him seemingly being left without a chair in this little WBA tournament that's being running. And what I mean by that is Daniel Dubois versus Trevor Bryan, and so then that settles what used to be the interim holder of Dubois and Trevor Bryan holding the WBA regular title before Daniel Dubois took it off him. And then you have Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter, who are going to be fighting, and then the winner will fight Daniel Dubois, although that's what's meant to happen. And for many fans, we've just presumed that that is to settle the mandatory challenger. But Robert Helenius, who's kind of man alone, even though he's high ranking in the WBA, wants his shot at the title. And also considering the WBA hasn't had a mandatory since 2018, and it would be next in the rotation of title shots for the 3 belts that are currently held by Oleksandr Uysk, you can see why he would want to force that issue, saying, I'm rightfully the WBA mandatory, so of course I'm interested in the Usyk vs Joshua winner. I definitely should be next. Every elimination bout after mine is BS. At this point, if we're not designated the mandatory after Usyk's next fight, we will only have one option. My lawyers are very confident that the WBA have bungled this whole thing, so I am confident in my position. For now, I will just stay focused on training and see how Usyk vs Joshua and my WBA situation plays out. But I remain in a great position for something very big in the coming months for sure. And I think given the eliminators that he's been in recent years, I think he does have a good case. And arguably, after that first win, he probably should have got something a little better than the status of the gold title, which came out of nowhere. Remembering at the time, there was the speculation that if Kownacki had have won, he would have got the outright mandatory shot at that time. But obviously Kownacki lost, and then Helenius was sort of put to the side, and he's kind of remained there ever since. So there is a bit going on there, and there's a bit sort of just in the periphery happening in the WBA. But this is always the risk that you take when you go down the vortex that is the WBA. So Helenius, he might have a case, but he should also uppercut himself for trying to go down the WBA route, because it is never straightforward. Rising prospect Jared Anderson is not happy that Top Rank has put up a very selective clip, and this is it on screen. He's working with Shakur Stevenson, having a bit of a spar, and you have the only section of the video that's played has Stevenson just landing those 2 punches. Anderson not happy, but before I get to his comments, Bryant Jennings, the former title challenger, he had written in the comments, for anybody that's thinking Jared Anderson is sweet, better think twice about that. But damn though, I'm sure this little play round was more than just Shakur getting one off. Lol, Jared Anderson gonna be mad at this video like WTF. And he was. And he posted his thoughts to the comment section, but seemingly they have disappeared. So either taken down, deleted, whatever. But the internet, those streets, they never forget. So I happened to screenshot it while it was still there. He says, I can't believe y'all just posted this. One of the only punches he landed. I'm going to PBC where Al Heyman at when you need him. So Anderson, whether that was just a little bit of frustration being vented there, or if he really is incensed enough to consider switching promotional outfits and changing his whole setup, unclear. But yeah, I think they did sort of do him a little bit dirty there. They have 10 seconds of footage with Shakur Stevenson, who obviously fights at 130 pounds, landing a couple of not big shots on Anderson, and that's the small snippet that went up. So I can understand his frustration. Oleksandr Uysk, who has his rematch with Anthony Joshua August 20th. He is doing some training here in the pool, as you can see, posting swim like a shark, sting like a bee. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be ramping up some coverage this weekend, hoping to get to a sparring video. So he's brought in a number of big heavyweights, some tall timber in his camp, preparing for Joshua August 20th. And on the other side, Robert Garcia, who's recently been brought into Joshua's training camp, hopes that he can have Joshua as his 15th world champion and his first heavyweight champion. So he says, I want my first heavyweight champion. I've had 14 world champions. He will be my 15th, but he will be my first heavyweight world champion. That's big. It's big for me too. And then going on to say, I've been coming back and forth since December, and that's obviously referring to going to the United Kingdom. I've been coming back and forth to England to work with Anthony. I see a different Anthony now. The way he thinks, the way he talks and practices in the gym. He fought the wrong fight that night. That's the past. That happened already. Usyk was the better man. Congratulations to him. Come August 20, we're going to do what it takes to win those titles back. Moving on to Derek Chisora, and a couple of different stories. After his most recent win, a few different players coming out of the woodwork. But of Derek Chisora, Billy Nelson, who trains Martin Bakole, says he can't even get him on the phone. He doesn't want a part of Bakole in the gym. So Billy Nelson saying nobody wants to face him. The likes of Chisora, for example, have actually had Chisora's team on the phone asking me not to call him out anymore. They've sparred, and the quickest Chisora moved on with Martin was when he was getting out of the ring after 4 rounds, and he was meant to do 6. The bottom line is Martin will fight anybody, and I mean anybody, as long as it's a good deal for Martin. I've been offered a fight with somebody. Some names won't be mentioned, and the sums they're talking about are just ridiculous. And the funny thing is, another person has been offered the exact same fight for 3 times the amount. And that person told me that. Martin Bakole is one of these guys in the sort of who needs him camp, and no one's really lining up to fight him. But of Derek Chisora, his former trainer and also good friend Dave Caldwell wants him to retire, saying, I've said to him, and I've said it in public, I would like to see him retire, but he's not going to, is he? Ultimately, Derek is going to do what he wants to do, but I'd like to see him retire, because retiring on the crest of a wave, but he is not going to. And Chisora has indicated he wants to keep fighting, go on, secure the bag, another bag, and he's said to Eddie Hearn, show me the money or I'll go elsewhere. And Tyson Fury's also brought up Derek Chisora, saying, me and Derek used to be chums. I went to Monaco to support him. I went to Hamburg to support him. Then as soon as I have a fight, he goes, I'll pick the other guy. So Derek can kiss my ass, and if I see him, I'm going to punch him in the face. So whether that happens or not, we'll have to see. I mean, previously Tyson Fury has entertained having another fight with Derek Chisora, but the rematch, as we know, ended pretty badly for Chisora. The British prospect David Adeleye would like to face the winner of Fabio Wardley and Nathan Gorman, should it occur for the British title. So it has been ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control, but given they're with different promoters, no guarantees it does happen. But Adeleye has said in a post after the British Boxing Board of Control ordered it, I will see the winner soon. Whether he would actually be in line for that just yet, unclear. I mean, really hasn't fought at any real level so far. Probably his next step should be the English title if he's gunning for one of the sort of up-and-coming belts on the way up. And rounding out this heavyweight news and notes mashup video, so the Irish heavyweight Thomas Carty will be having his first fight in Ireland. So he says August the 6th, the Carty party hits Belfast. First time fighting in Ireland since turning professional. Time to make a statement on home soil. Let's go. And that is on a card called Return of the Mick. Mick being Mick Conlon, who's coming off a loss to Lee Wood. So that looks like it's going to be an all-Irish affair on the undercard, or at least mostly. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment. Loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.